It's like you don't need to become anything to be who you are. You just need to be who you are. And who you are is this vast space that's experiencing itself, this emptiness that's experiencing itself as fullness. And on the human level, all of us, including me, can still work to improve and iron out our conditioning if we feel to. And be humble to that, and be humble in relationships. But really there's nowhere ever to get to. Who you are is this vastness. This, what's happening. And while you feel really separate and lots of suffering, as that separate, apparent separate person, just rest your attention in what's happening. So rest your attention in the feelings, in the seeing, in the hearing, in the feeling, in the I am, in the touch. And if there's really strong emotion, then you can do an emotional release of putting your attention in the emotion and then speaking it out. You motherfucker, you did this to me, you did that, or whatever. What has to happen is there has to be a collapse back into the experience. Often the person, the separate person, is trying to run away from experience and try to get to something in time, in the intellect, in imagination, trying to get to a better tomorrow, away from a bad yesterday. So it's trying to imagine getting there. And that's okay. Like that's what thinking does, is it imagines. But your home is here. Your imagination is just imagining pleasure. Pleasure isn't home. Home is here. And the reason the mind is doing that is because you've been taught that you're not allowed to feel certain things. And so for years and years you've spent and put lots of energy into trying to avoid being certain feelings. You're not allowed to be sad, you're not allowed to be angry, you're not allowed to express all these things. So you've had that feeling and then you've put all the attention up here. And what it's done is it's increased thinking. It's made the thinking go a bit neurotic when you have those feelings. And it's also made the feelings get stuck in the body because they've not been allowed to express themselves and come out. They've been shoved down. So that action of always trying to move away from feeling has increased the thinking. And then the thinking increases the feeling. It's like a cycle. This is why when you get into your 20s and 30s, after 10, 15, 20, 30 years of being identified, your body is quite uncomfortable. Because you've got into this cycle of trying to avoid the feeling. The feeling creates overthinking. The overthinking increases the feeling. Pretty simple, actually. Just seems complicated, but it's not. It's complicated because you've got no language for this, so you almost have to learn a new language when you're into non-duality. You know, often when people first get into this subject, people aren't even aware that they're thinking. So they're not even aware that this isn't actually a cup or a travel mug. That's simply the name we gave it. But they think that's reality. That's what this is. It's a travel mug. But really it is as it is. It's nothing. It's innocent. And then they believe their own thoughts to be true. So if somebody's been angry to them, if somebody's annoyed them and they've got angry, they don't even know they're thinking about it. They haven't even got perception that they're thinking about that. They just think it's reality. So it's like when you get into this subject, it's almost like you have to learn a whole language for it.